Hello, everyone. Let me start with a quick introduction about myself. I'm a qualified fellow actuary and have 6.5 years of experience in teaching actuarial science professionally, as well as I've worked across different actuarial science verticals across the 6.5 years. That was a very brief introduction about myself. Before I proceed to the solution discussions, let me inform you that the new batches for IFOA April 2025 and II May 2025 start from 6th of October. Do note that we have a single batch and limited capacity for each paper. So enroll and start early, because at Fanatics we believe that if a student starts early, they get ample amount of time for preparation and a buffer time as well at the end to meet any unforeseen circumstances. I hope the solution discussion with you helps you. Hello everyone. So in this video, we would be discussing CM1 Paper B September 2024 solutions. Let's start with question 1. An insurance company uses multiple decrement table to value a cohort of health insurance business. The independent rates of mortality and force of sickness are given in the worksheet. Derive the multiple decrement table for using the template provided. Let's see what is the sheet. So the base was given us as HQX and force of sickness, and force of transition are assumed to be constant over single years of age. So since QX and force of sickness is given, we can calculate force of mortality, which is nothing but minus of ln of 1 minus QX. Once you get that, you can calculate APX. APX is nothing but e to the power minus of force of sickness and plus force of mortality. AQXD is nothing but mu by mu plus sigma into 1 minus APX, and AQX is S is again sigma by mu plus sigma into 1 minus APX. This is giving me the multiple decrement table for the H. The insurance company now wants to make the following adjustments to the assumptions underlying the multiple decrement table. Increase the force of mortality to 110% and increase the independent rate of sickness to 105% of the current independent rate. So this is just taking a copy. Just take a copy and just the new force of mortality will be 110% of the previous one, and the new force of sickness will be 105% of the previous one, whatever we had. And then the formulas remain the same of what we did previously. E to the power minus mu plus sigma, then mu by mu plus sigma into 1 minus APX, and sigma by sigma mu plus sigma into 1 minus APX. And then you can just do the answers. This was a very straightforward question. A life insurance company issues 25-year term assurance policy to a life aged 32 exact. The worksheet Q2 base gives details of the premium charged and benefits payable, as well as the reserving basis used. Calculate the gross premium prospective reserve and calculate the gross premium retrospective reserve at the end of each policy year. So if we see question 2 database, it is given to us that the policy holder at the start is 32, total premium is 5,000, sum assured is 250,000. We have been given the mortality rates QX and commission 2% of all premiums, including the premium in the first year. Expenses is 1,000 per annum and risk discount rate is 5.75%. So it is all the expenses and commissions together. We get it. So now we need to calculate the prospective reserve first. So at a policy year age at start, you have QX for age 32. You can take it out using VLOOKUP from the table. PX is nothing but 1 minus QX. We can calculate N minus 1 PX, which is 1, and the next one will be E5 into D5. Probability for death benefit is nothing but N minus 1 PX into QX, which is by our first principles of death benefit. And then the discounting factor is nothing but 1 plus I to the power minus of time. EPV of death benefit for 1 rupees, for 1 rupees or 1 pounds, whatever you can say, don't write rupees. It is F5 into G5, basically EPV probability into discounting factor. We get this. Discounting factor for premium is 1 plus I to the power minus of time -1 because it starts from 0. The premium is paid at time 0. It's paid annually in advance. You see, the premium payable is annually in advance. Okay. EPV of premium we can calculate using n-1 px into the discounting factor. Now the annuity due factor is nothing but sum of this entire thing divided by EPV only, and remaining only the last cell should be fixed, and assurance factor is again the same thing. Assurance factor is also the same thing with dividing by the EPV of the premium or the annuity due factor. Okay. Once you get this assurance factor, your EPV of death benefit is nothing but whatever is your sum assured into the assurance factor. EPV of expenses is again 1,000 per annum at the start of each year, including the first. So we do not have renewal and this separate. So we can just directly multiply all of these by our annuity due factor for each year. We do not have to do anything else because everything removes 1 every time. And every year is calculated. So you do not need to do a -1 from the annuity due factor as well. And you can just calculate because all the expenses for each year remain the same. EPV of commissions also is the same. It is the annuity due factor into the premium into the 2%. Okay. And EPV of premium is the premium given into the annuity due factor. And prospective reserve, the first year would be 0 and the remaining years would be EPV of death benefit plus expenses plus commissions minus the premium. So these are the reserves. Okay. And similarly for retrospective reserves, you have policy, you have age at start, you have again QX, PX, n-1 PX. Don't have to calculate again, just bring it from there. Till here, the table can be brought from the previous sheet. You do not have to calculate anything else. The assurance factor would be, for the first year, it is V into QX. For the next year, it is VQX plus V square into PX into QX plus 1. Similarly, it will just go on now. The previous one plus V cube into PX into 2PX into QX plus 2 and so on. So this goes on. Similarly, for the annuity due factor, first is 1, then is 1 plus VPX, then is 1 plus VPX plus V square into 2PX. So this keeps on going. And EPV of death benefit is whatever the sum assured is into the assurance factor. EPV of expenses is also the similar thing. Multiplied with the annuity factor, EPV of commissions multiplied with the annuity factor, EPV of premium is again multiplied by the annuity factor and EPV. Then we calculate the payout, which is EPV of premiums minus expenses minus commissions minus death benefit. We accumulate that value. So 1 plus our interest rate, whatever is it, to the power time, okay, divided by our probability of survival n-1 px. You accumulate these values. Once you accumulate these values till the times, for every year we are accumulating, for 1 year, for 2 years and so on. For each year you accumulate it and you get the values, the reserve. Okay, accumulation. So basically payout into accumulated factor will give you the reserve for each of the years. This is the basic process for calculating the reserves. Says, discuss briefly why the retrospective and prospective reserves are not equal for this policy. So obviously they'll not be equal given there are mortality and different assumptions. Retrospective reserves are based on past experience. Prospective reserves are for future experience. Prospective reserves use future benefits, and while retrospective reserves depend on past payments, leading to mismatch if there is a deviation in expectation as well. Okay. So this was very easy again, directly can be done. The worksheet Q3 base contains a mortality. Question 3. The worksheet Q3 base contains a mortality table that has a select period of 5 years. Calculate 3P30, 15Q35 plus 2. So first, let's see question 3P base. Temporary assurances, males, non-smokers, and 5-year select values have been given. So basically, person will be selected this. After that, suppose someone is selected at age 17, at age 18 it will be here, at age 19 it will be here, at age 20 it will be here, at 21 it will be here, and after 22 he will keep on being at the ultimate probability. Okay, so that's the main catch over here. Now 3p30, there is no select. Okay, it's only 3p30 ultimate. So when I calculate 3p30, I saw that the sheet says you to calculate. So all these are just 1 minus the probabilities, nothing else. 3p30 would be p30 into p31 into p32 by the consistency principle. So you just do, just did a VLOOKUP to the entire sheet for p30, 31 and 32 and all from the 7th column because these are all ultimate. Okay. 15q35 plus 2 means a person is currently aged 37. Okay. So person currently aged 37 but selected at age 35 would be here 37. So here it got selected q35 plus 2. Okay, and we have to calculate q15. So 15, in q we do not have consistency principle. So we do 1 minus 15 p35 plus 2. And now you can do a product. Now again, as I told you, someone who is here currently, after 1 year will be here, after 2 years would be here, and thereafter for the next 12 years. So 1 year, 2 year, 3 year out of 15 is gone. Now remaining 12 years, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. For 12 years, this person would be here. So product of this and 1 minus would give me the answer for Q35. Next is calculate A due 30, 10. So for A due 30, 10, again, all the probabilities you have already calculated. Time age is going from 30 to 39. Time will be 0 to 9 because A due annually in advance. Discounting factor again 1 and so on. At 5% interest rate is given to you. Probability would be for the first year, it would be since the person is aged 30. Person is aged 30. So first age 30 selected over here. Then for age 31, he would be here. 32, he would be the next column. 33, he would be the next column. So keep on changing the column number if you're using VLOOKUP. 34, he would be at F. And from 35 onwards, he converts it to ultimate after 5 years. Okay? To G column. N minus 1 px is nothing but 1. And then it keeps on doing the consistency principle. 1 into px and so on. EPV is discounting factor into this probability. And 0.5, and then you just add all of these things to get your annuity due factor. This is as simple as just calculating, no sum assured, nothing is given to you. Next is A30 plus 2 is to 35. That means person is currently aged 32. Okay, so 32 to 37 is A30 to 5 years. Okay. So doing 5 years, but it's in an endowment assurance, you see, that will 2 times. Okay. Discounting factor is again at 5% calculated 1 plus time to the power minus 5. 1 plus I to the power minus time. And then mortality is calculated for us. So I'll just calculate mortality using survival. So first I've taken out survival since it's here only. Again, I've done a VLOOKUP. So since it's selected again at age this column. So 30 plus 2 means currently 32 minus 2, 30 plus 2. So we'll pick from the 32 age. So VLOOKUP from D, E, F. So I've kept changing my VLOOKUP. First from the 4th column, then from the 5th column, then 6th column, then 7th, and then kept on doing 7. N minus 1 px is again calculated similarly using consistency principle. Probability is calculated V5 into T5. Okay, which is this, and V5 into, which is N minus 1 px into mortality into this is probability, and EPV is multiplied in probability by the discounting factor. Remember over here in the probability in the last cell, it should not be multiplied with the mortality probability because it's endowment and should only be survival. So it will be N minus 1 px into the survival for 1 more year. And then you just multiply and then you just add it up to get 0.7831, which is my annuity assurance factor. Sorry. Okay. So those are the answers. Question 4. A life insurance company issues a 4-year joint life term insurance to two lives, a man currently aged 44 exact and a woman currently aged 46 exact. The premiums are charged and the benefits are payable set out in the worksheet with the profit test basis using the company to provide price the product. Calculate for each month of the policy the probability per policy in force that both policy holders survive to the start of the month or that the death benefit is paid at the end of the month. So first, for male age and female age, since months are given, each age will increase by 1 by 12 months. So currently starting at this first month, it's 44 plus time minus 1 by 12. So it starts at 44. Females are at 46 and it goes up to this. There was a trick here. There was an extra row over here with age, with month 50 given over here. Sorry, this is the extra row which is there. So make sure you do not take into account this extra row when you're doing your profit test basis. Otherwise, this can be there, not an issue. For the year 5, we don't need. Why? Because it's a 4-year joint life term assurance policy. So you need to do only for 48 months. Okay. Now this we look up from the mortality table given to us here. We have PX1 minus QX. Similarly, QY also you use the same thing. Okay, with this female age and 1 minus PY we do it. NPX is nothing but again using the consistency principle. Survival is both survive to the, so we have been told to calculate the probability of survival. So that means both survive to the start of the month. So that means NPX into NPY is both surviving till the end. And probability of death benefit when either one of the people die, that a benefit is paid in the death means the joint life policy says that payments are made ceasing on the first death. So for the first death, we calculate it as survival to the start of the month minus survival to the start of the next month, means the one of them has died between this policy. Okay, you have to minus this, make sure you do is this way and you get the answer. Okay, probability of death. And see, the last one will give you different answer. That means this is not to be considered. 49th month is not to be considered. We are only considered with 48 months. Okay. Moving on, calculate the gross annual premium for the policy. So the gross annual premium, time is given, month is given, year is given. Time I kept from 0 because not to make a mistake. So going from 0 to 47 for premiums. Probability is given. Probability, these two we have already calculated. We assume the premium. Say I assume the premium to be 1,000 per month. Okay. So premium becomes 1,000. Commission is set to be 25% of the first year premium incurred at the start of the policy. The first year's premium means total premium of the first year. Since I have taken since I have 1,000 per month means 12,000 for the whole year into 25% will giving me 3,000. And then the renewal commission start from the second policy year. So it starts from the second policy year, 2% of the monthly premium. So just 2% of whatever the monthly premium is being calculated, you can just multiply. Okay. Expenses are same for each year, 10. Expenses are not changing. So expenses remain 10 per month at the start of each month. And claim expenses I have added with the sum assured. Sum assured plus claim expenses is this. Okay, 125, 600. Now for profit testing, we have the premium, we have commission, expenses. So you need to calculate interest. Interest is nothing but premium minus commission minus expenses into I12 by 12. Remember to calculate I12 by 12 from the 4% given to you because you're doing it monthly. Then sum assured plus claim expenses. Then EPV of death benefit is nothing but whatever this is into the probability of death in the first month. This gives me the EPV of death benefit. Payout is again premium minus commission minus expenses plus interest minus EPV of death benefit because we do not have any other thing given, no maturity, nothing. PS because it's a term assurance, okay? And profit signature is again then payout into the probability of survival to the start of the month. Profit signature. Discounting factor is 1 plus risk discount rate. Again, please calculate the risk discount rate at I12 by 12. Okay. to the power minus of time month by 12. So month is given in 1, 2, 3. We need to Excel to understand that these are months. Okay. To the power minus of all of these by 12. And profit is then profit signature into the discounting factor. Once you get this sum, it's said in the base worksheet that premiums are set such that expected present value of profit is 90% of the initial commission. So 90% of the initial commission, I've already calculated initial commission 0.9. Now these two value difference should be equal to 0. So I use data tab, what if analysis, goal seek, two values 0, and I change the premium of 1000 per month. Okay, so it gives me a premium of 120.41 per month. Okay, that's 120.41 per month to have a profit of 325 in total, which is equal to 90% of the initial commission. Clear? That was the major portion of the sums. The company is proposing to offer another version where the death benefit is payable at the end of the year rather than the end of the month. Discuss without performing any calculation how the gross premium would change under this proposal. So under this proposal, now it says only at the end of the month. If the death benefit is now payable at the end of the year instead of the end of the month, it will delay the payouts. This reduces the present value of expected benefits. If a death occurs early in the year, the payout is delayed till year end, meaning the insurer holds the funds longer and it can earn investment income. The gross premium would likely decrease because insurer benefits from the delayed payment and additional investment income. However, the change in premium would depend on the discounting effect and the risk discount rate as well. Okay. So that is it for paper B of CM1. Thank you.